Let's go. Chat room. Hold on. Let me fix the chat room. All right. Chat room is good. Welcome, everybody, into the High Noon Rant with me, Pugs Moran. Starts every day around 12. Around 12. I was busy again today. I was running around. I had an incident. Dog is mad at me. Dog is mad at me because I forgot to feed her. It's not like I went out of town, you know. I forgot to feed her by like an hour, and she started pouting. Forgot to feed her because as you daily streamers know, streamers, how do I refer to you consuming a live stream? Viewers? I don't know. You people know that I've given up caffeine this week, and a lot of changes. I'm compiling all of the changes, all kinds of things. Most notably, I'm going to give it one more day before I reveal the primary thing that I was looking to see have change with my elimination of caffeine, and it has so far. But I don't want to, I don't want to count my chickens. I'm going to give it one more day. But one of the things that has been truly upset is my regularity. I've switched to all caffeine-free stuff, except for coffee. I'm doing decaffeinated coffee, which is not caffeine-free. There's a little bit of caffeine in there, just a tiny little bit. But I used to be regular, and the dog used to get fed, before I would go to do my regular. And it's just crazy. Things are different. Things are out of whack. I forgot to feed the dog today, and so she's mad at me. So that's what's happening in my world. Welcome to the High Noon Rant. What is it? Well, it's a nonstop stream of consciousness rant about me, this day, and all the things that are happening in it. It is current events-driven hot talk, the way it should be, without all the political divisiveness and without all the... I'll give you an example. Some bullshit. You want to hear some bullshit? I'll tell you some bullshit. What is that? I'm distracted by something. I was supposed to be on James Parker's show yesterday. James Parker, WBAP 430. I was supposed to be on yesterday. BAP at 93.3 FM. He's a hot talker. He does the politics though. So I'm supposed to be on yesterday as his entertainment guy. I appear a couple times a week, at least once a week, slinging the Hollywood dirt. And I got bumped yesterday. I was all ready to do it. I was supposed to do it at 4:30. I got bumped. I got bumped for like a stupid news story that was going on that was breaking news. I guess that's what they do there. I got bumped for some breaking news. I swear to shit, I ain't seen break anywhere else. I ain't seen that story anywhere else. Well, I mean, I have, but certainly not to the degree that you would bump me. So I'll be on today, 3:30 with James Parker on WBAP. So, there you go. So there's one guarantee. This stream of consciousness will not go past 3:30 because I have to report for duty over there. What is this show? Well, it is a show. I told you, it's stream of consciousness. It's narcissism, just completely unbridled. I will do 2 hours on all the day's hot topics, current events, whatever it is, headlines. People are buzzing about it. That's what I give you. I present it in 4 different segments. We call them quarters. First quarter, antecedently on this day. Just a fancy way of saying this day in history. Second quarter, birthdays. We go through birthdays. That's self-explanatory. People born on this day. We talk about them, whether they're cool or not. Then we get into the deaths. That's third quarter. Third quarter, we talk about people who died on this day because... we like to send them to heaven or hell. We look at them like, hey, this dude died. Here's what they did. Here's what we know about them. And then what do you think? Heaven or hell? That's fun. That's the third quarter. We have fun with the third quarter. I noticed my pacing is back. Since stopping with the caffeine, I've noticed that, remember the first day I was like, I feel a little dragon ass. I feel a little, now I feel like it's back. It's back. The energy is back. So maybe the energy is provided by you, the people in the chat room, all in that suite. Quarter 4, that's where the rubber hits the road. That's the bulk of the show. That's all the stuff we talk about. That's the hot topics. That's the trends. That's the stuff that's happening now. That's all the events that are going to help shape your understanding of what day is in years to come. Oh, that's right. This day in history. I remember where I was when that happened. Well, that's the stuff we're talking about here. I don't know if any of it will be memorable. We shall see. I'll tell you what's memorable. Today's a memorable birthday for some folks because it's leap year. Happy leap year birthday to one of our very own. That's right. April's boy Nathan, he's 5. I don't care if he's physically a 20-year-old man. He's 5. Happy 5th birthday, young Nathan. This, however, has absolutely nothing to do with each other. It has completely everything to do with the fact that she's just awesome, because April's also the executive producer of today's show. April and Nathan. We'll give it to April and Nathan. How did they become that? Well, April's a tipper. April's a regular tipper. April, seriously, there's like 5 of you. April's one of you. I mean, my God. Thank you so much. April tipped the show yesterday, and therefore she became the executive producer of today's show. And if you would like to be the executive producer of tomorrow's show, well, you can do the very same thing. All you need to do is drop a little something there in either the Venmo or the Cash App. It is that time of year. It's the bonus day in February, which is not a bonus day. February gets ripped off of days. You know, a bonus day. We're still not even 30 days in this month. It's not a bonus day. There's no such thing as a 28-day month. Except apparently there is. I don't know. I don't get it. Leap year, whatever. But happy birthday, Nathan. Thank you to Nathan. We'll be showing his smiling face throughout the show today. And thank you to April, our executive producer on today's show. All right, let's get into it. Why not? The rant has begun. I can't talk. April says Nathan's in class for now, but I will share this with him then. Well, share it with him. Share it, Nathan. The world is your oyster, young man. You're only 5 and you look like a 20-year-old. You know what I could have done with that? Come on, man. That's pretty good. All right. I was worried about today because leap years, as we learned, remember when the week started, I was preparing for the leap year show. When the week started on Monday, I was like, well, it's going to be hard to do, this day in history and all that for leap year, because leap years only come once every 7 years. Yeah, I'm an idiot. I was confusing it with the dog thing. Dogs are 7 years. I don't know, whatever. Leap year is every 4 year. But still, as I was putting together today's quarter 1, which we call antecedently on this day, which we'll get started in just briefly. There were some things that happened. It's not as bad. It's not as bad every 4 years. Every 4 years there was something that happened. So, all right. So we do have a cobbled together first 3 quarters. And again, it's cobbled together because there's like every 4 years, there's only a 29th. So things that happened on this day are limited more so than they normally would be. It's self-explanatory. I don't know what I'm doing here. All right, let's get started. It's the High Noon Rant for the 29th day. That's right, the 29th day of February. We are pronouncing that February. We're pronouncing that correctly. It is the 60th day of the year. 306 more in leap years because you get the extra year. That's why. The extra day. It is also, once again, Nathan's birthday. So happy birthday to Nathan. All right. Antecedently on this day in 1504, Christopher Columbus uses his knowledge of the lunar eclipse to convince Jamaican natives to provide him with supplies. Oh, he tricked them. Yeah, he tricked them. Come on. We've all thought about that. Like, have you ever been like, man, if I was sent back in time, like my son and I, we do these little exercises. Go back. Okay, you're in King Arthur times. You bring one thing. What are you bringing? And he's always like, I'm bringing an Apache attack helicopter. I'm like, first of all, you can't even fly that. You can't fly that. Okay, so before you go back, you got to learn how to operate that. I'm like, dude, I'd just bring a cell phone. You could have ruled the known universe if you had introduced people back in time to a cell phone. You know what I mean? Well, but even if there wasn't a connection, well, as long as it stayed charged, once it charged down, my reign would end. Oh boy. They'd be like, he's lost his powers. It's still just a phone. It's still cool. Anyway, he tricked them. He knew about the lunar eclipse that was coming because, science and all that stuff. And I guess he hornswoggled the Jamaicans. He's like, I'm going to make the moon disappear. And, then he gave them AIDS. Isn't that what Christopher Columbus did? He gave AIDS to all the people in Jamaica. I don't know. Antecedently on this day in 1892, St. Petersburg, Florida is incorporated. Look, it's a yodeler of a day. And by that, I mean slim pickings. St. Petersburg, Florida. All right. Welcome to the party. Not a lot happens on this day. On this day, antecedently in 1940, for her performance as Mammy in Gone with the Wind, Hattie McDaniel becomes the first African-American to win an Academy Award. All right. They gave him one in 1940. We're going to give y'all one. And then not again until Sidney Poitier in the 1960s. Tokenism, maybe? Did she deserve it? I don't know. Who was she up against? Was she Anyway, big moment. Big moment. Although they didn't start a trend. Just want to point that out. Did not start a trend of black actors and actresses being, lauded for their efforts. Did not. Not took like Sidney Poitier, like 25 years later. On this day, antecedently in 1980, Gordie Howe of the Hartford Whalers makes NHL history as he scores his 800th goal. I don't even know if that's good. It apparently is. It has stood the test of historical time. But again, it's a leap year, so not a lot has happened on the 29th. Antecedently on this day in 2004, Jean-Bertrand Aristide. He was kicked out of Haiti. He was president of Haiti. Aristide was president of Haiti. He came in after the Docs, Baby Doc and Papa Doc, the Duvaliers. He came in after them. They were dictators who basically just raped that whole country. But Aristide was a priest, and I don't know, not that priests are good, but in that weird, standing next to a politician, it's like, I'll take the priest, even though I know he's probably, sexually interesting. Frightening, maybe is a better word. But yeah, he was but 3 times Aristide, there were coups, 3 times. There was a coup in the 90s and they got rid of him and then they put him back. And then this last one took, the one that occurred on this day in 2004. This one he blamed on the Americans. He said, we did it. He said, we backed a coup to get him overthrown because for whatever reason. I don't know. Anyway, moving on. Like I said, it's leap year, man. Not a lot to talk about. Antecedently on this day, year of our Lord 2008, the United Kingdom's Ministry of Defense withdraws Prince Harry from a tour of Afghanistan after news of his deployment is leaked to foreign media. And you can't do that. You got to go. You're going to send someone in the, and at this point he was in the, succession line. You can't send him into war and let everybody know, hey, here's where his group is, because that would totally be a target. So I understand that. But yeah, he was apparently very upset in the Harry. There was a Harry. He's very upset about that. He's like, I wanted to go and they pulled me back. Too dangerous. All right. Well, yeah, it is. It's dangerous. War is dangerous. Just as dangerous for that kid who doesn't have royal blood, but somehow, again, we pretend royal blood is special. So on this day, antecedently, year of our Lord 2020, the United States and the Taliban signed the Doha Agreement, bringing peace and love, and it's like a Wonka factory now there in Afghanistan. I don't know anything about Afghanistan. We don't hear much about Afghanistan. I imagine it's still just an ashtray of a nation. Just, what is everything all burned out and broken and ugh. All right, that's going to do it. Antecedently on this day, now let's do birthdays. Bonum. They claim it's their birthday. Who am I to judge? I ain't going to look it up. Born on this day. Again, these are leap year birthdays. Leap year birthdays to be celebrated just like we're celebrating Nathan today. That's right. Here are people who Nathan shares a birthday with. Are you ready? Born on this day. Slim Pickens again. Born on this day in 1916, Dinah Shore, American actress and singer. I don't know what Dinah Shore did. I don't know what her real claim to fame was, other than staying attractive into her 70s. She seemed to do that pretty well, because when she was on, I only know Dinah Shore as a woman who hosted a daytime talk show during the 1970s and 80s. That's who I know. And I guess she started that daytime talk show in the 60s, so it had been around forever. But she was like Oprah before Oprah. She was Dinah. And in the old heads, they'll be like, oh no, she was an actress. She was like a famous actress who's now but I couldn't name a movie Dinah Shore ever did. Anyway, happy birthday, Dinah Shore. She golfed. I know golf. Golf was a thing with her. Dinah Shore. She had a big golf tournament that she was famous for. Born on this day in 1960. Born on this day in 1944. Here's a dude. He's dead, though. It sucks that he's dead. I love this guy. Dennis Farina. Who is Dennis Farina? Well, I'll tell you. If you're from Chicago, as I am, Dennis Farina. Here, I'll pull up. Find me some good Dennis Farina. Get you good. You know who Dennis Farina is. Dennis Farina was an actor. And before he was an actor, this dude did 18 years as a detective in the Chicago Police Department. And he got his start in acting because Michael Mann, filmmaker Michael Mann, was making a movie called Thief with James Caan. Thief is such a good movie. And he needed like technical advisors, and he wanted real Chicago cops to tell him about how these things would really go. So he got Dennis Farina involved. Dennis Farina was a cop at the time. He was an advisor, and it struck a bug in him. And all of a sudden, Dennis Farina is now an actor. And guess what? Dennis Farina is a pretty good actor. Here you go. Here's Dennis Farina, this guy. Born on this day. Look at this guy. Nobody got the Chicago accent down. He never even tried to lose it. Law and Order. You know him from Law and Order. You know him from Wise Guy. You know him from all kinds of movies. He always played cops, or he played cops or mafia guys. So there's three of these dudes who, when they go out, they act, and they don't even try to drop the accent. As a matter of fact, they play up the accent. These three dudes, Dennis Farina, Dennis Franz. Remember Dennis Franz? He was who was Dennis Franz from NYPD Blue? Remember him? That guy. He's dead too, isn't he? Dennis Franz dead. Dennis Franz, you had Dennis Farina, and you had Joe Mantegna. You know, all these three dudes, these three Chicago guys, they kind of made a career out of making this accent popular. Anyway, I love this guy. Dennis Farina, he's awesome in everything that he does. He's dead, though, but he was born on this day. He's a leap year baby. Hold on. Sorry. Boom. Got to fix this. He's a leap year baby, just like our Nathan. That's right. Just like our Nathan. He's a leap year baby. All right. She's like, April's like, I know you don't do shout outs. I'm like, I'll fucking do shout outs, man. Oh, you want to see? It's just nothing but a celebration of Nathan today. April. Like, the whole reason this show keeps going is because of her. And she's like all sheepishly, oh, if you could mention I just wanted Nathan's birthday. Shouting out Nathan all day long. Here's some bad news for Nathan, though, because as I said, true yodeler of the day. We've got slim pickings insofar as the birthdays go. And we're going to go on a run here of a couple of people who share a birthday with old Nathan. Probably not a good sign. Born on this day in 1956, leap baby, serial killer Eileen Wuornos. That's right. Monster. Born on leap year. On this day in 1956. Born on this day in 1960, serial killer, the Night Stalker, Richard Ramirez. You got two serial killers. I mean, there's only like 5 famous people born on this day, and 2 of them are serial killers. I'm not saying that this has anything to do with our guy Nathan. I'm just saying, keep an eye on him. Let's see here. Also celebrating a birthday, Lyndon Byers. Now, who's Lyndon Byers? You guys don't know who Lyndon Byers is, and you shouldn't unless you're from Boston. Lyndon Byers is an icon in Boston. He's a hockey player. He played for the Bruins, and he was basically just a guy who started fights for like 20 years. Lindy Byers was just, he would go on to have a fairly successful career. I guess this is just within the last couple of years, as a radio host also in Boston. But he's just a big personality that the Bruins fans love. He threw me down a flight of stairs once. Yeah, he did. This was back just after he retired. He hadn't yet moved into media, but we had gone. We were doing the morning show in Chicago, and we would take a yearly trip to Boston for the Sam Adams. Sam Adams was a big advertiser. We'd go to the Sam Adams Brewery every year. And they would take us out on the town in Boston, and be for a weekend. It'd be a good time. And Tom Waddle, who is a football player for the Bears, he was a regular on our station. Tommy came with us. And so Tom played at Boston College. So we thought we should take Tom. We're going to Boston. So we go to Boston. Tom Waddle comes with us. Tom Waddle is friends with this guy, Lyndon Byers, who just retired from the NHL. They come out with us. And oh my God, Lyndon Byers threw me down a flight of stairs. It was a joke. Oh, these guys. With their jokes. He was actually a pretty cool guy. Crazy drunk, crazy loud, bigger than life, insane hockey bruiser, Lyndon Byers, having a birthday today. Born on this day in 1964. Threw me down a flight of steps once. In Faneuil Hall. On this day, born on this day in 1972, Dave Williams. Dave Williams tragically died in 2002. He was lead singer of Drowning Pool. Local kid, Dave Williams. Born on this day in 1976, Ja Rule. American rapper and actor, Ja Rule. See, wasn't he involved with Fyre Fest? Was that Ja Rule? Or was that Ludacris? Wait, who was that? Was that Nelly? I think it was Ja Rule, wasn't it? I think it was. Happy birthday, Ja. Born on this day in 1992, here is the final birthday that we'll be celebrating on this, Nathan's birthday. Born on this day in 1992, Jesse T. Usher, American actor. I told you, man, there's not a whole lot of Jesse T. Usher. I like Jesse T. I mention him. You're not supposed to know who he is. It's not a household name. He plays A-Train on The Boys. I don't know if you watch Boys, but he plays A-Train. He was also in a really good series where he played a young basketball player. It was a comedy series. Mike Epps was in it. It was so funny. It was good, though. It was a really good series. It was executive produced by LeBron James. I don't remember what it was called, but that's the first time I saw Jesse T. Usher, and I thought he was excellent in that. And he's also very good as A-Train in the incredible Amazon series, The Boys. All right, there you go. Quarter 2 is in the books. Now it's time. It's time for us to do the deads, ladies and gentlemen. Let's open up some of these life's resumes on people who have passed away on this day and determine, based upon our own individual understanding of the Christian idea of what heaven and hell means, Judeo-Christian, I suppose. We will now determine whether these people go to heaven or hell. First on the docket today, died on this day in 1908, Pat Garrett. I don't know what that was for. Pat Garrett's death. What was that? That was not good. Pat Garrett was a lawman, an American sheriff, famous for killing Billy the Kid. And I think if you're famous for killing somebody else, maybe, you're a killer. Pat Garrett. New rule. All Old West cowboys go to hell. Like, we've got a couple of rules. All politicians go immediately to hell, and all actresses go immediately to hell. All college football coaches go immediately to hell. I think we need a new rule. All Old West cowboys go immediately to hell, because I don't think any of them were good people. I think they were all just like feral humans who were just, right? They all seemed bad. They all seemed, sure, Hollywood came along and created a Gary Cooper and John Wayne type. But I don't think they were all that prevalent in real life. Moving on. He's going to hell. Pat Garrett. I mean, again, famous for shooting Billy the Kid. Okay. Dead on this day in 1960, Melvin Purvis. Melvin Purvis was a lawman. Melvin Purvis was a badass lawman. When Elliot Ness sort of stopped being the main FBI guy, became Melvin Purvis. He was a lawman. A real son of a bitch, too. I am certain that Melvin Purvis went to hell. Says Melvin Purvis, American police officer and FBI agent. Even more than just an FBI agent. I don't want to click on his bio. I know. Walking Tall. Buford Pusser. Wait, was he? No, wait. Melvin Purvis. No, Melvin Purvis was in other movies. Like, they made movies about Melvin Purvis. But it wasn't Buford. It wasn't Buford Pusser. That's Walking Tall. All right, never mind. Moving on. Dead on this day in 2012. Oh, man. Davy Jones, the Monkees. I'm putting him in heaven. Little Davy Jones. Little itty bitty Davy Jones. He was so cute. I used to watch the Monkees. I was totally heterosexual, but I understood what the girls saw in him. Because maybe me, as a young heterosexual boy of 5 or 6 years old, I too thought Davy Jones was adorable. He's in heaven. All right, that's going to do it. All right, folks, that's it. And once again, first 3 quarters in the books. Once again, we say happy birthday to Nathan. Dead people are in the books. Today's executive producer is, of course, Nathan's mother, April, and Nathan himself. If you too would like to support the show, you can drop a little something at some point. We'll have the numbers. Maybe I'll have the numbers tomorrow, and we'll start driving hard on Monday of next week. But we definitely got to do a PBS tote bag pledge drive next week because fuck February. All right, moving on. Let's do all the stories that are. Oh, I got to move this. We'd all love to look at Nathan's evolution for the entirety of the show, but we've got news stories we've got to talk about. April says, I can only imagine how many laboring moms do not want babies today. She says, I did not want a leap year baby, but Nathan rushed that for me and was 30 minutes after getting to the hospital. Well, there you go. But it's good with the bad, right? You did not spend hour upon hour in excruciating pain participating in what we men call the miracle of life. you women call a really bad few hours. All right, moving on. Let's talk about the big stories. Let's change our tone because the first story is a wang dang dilly of a bummer, and that is a situation that apparently occurred in Gaza. Food trucks had pulled in to start dispersing food to the citizens of Gaza who have been having a hell of a time. I don't know if you've been reading the newspapers, but they got some stuff there. And some Israeli forces moved in while the foods were being distributed to the people. Lots of people, lots of hungry people. We're talking thousands and thousands upon people. I don't know. Maybe it could have been handled, but I don't know. I don't know how you do that. So the Israeli troops move in and chaos ensues when they see the Israeli troops. They begin to panic. People begin to start taking. Then suddenly gunshots go off, and now thousands of people are stampeding and running and trampling each other, and people are dying. And it's ugly. It's very ugly. More than 100 civilians have been killed. We do not know. There's video out there. You can see the video. Wolf Blitzer this morning at 10 a.m. He's like, the video we're about to show you is quite disturbing. And I'm like, that's all you need to tell me, man. I ain't going to look at this. I heard it, but I wasn't looking at it. I just stayed looking at my computer. Glanced up just long enough to see a child's arm dangling off a stretcher. That was all I needed to see. More than 100 killed as Israeli forces opened fire in chaos at Gaza food lines. This, according to and this is important, Palestinian Health Ministry, because the Palestinian Health Ministry is saying that the violence and the deaths and all that occurred as the Israelis opened fire. As they say, open fire. So if that's the only story you get, if the headline you get coming from the Palestinians is that, over 100 are dead after Israeli military opened fire on civilians just hungry for food, the Israelis are saying, no. They're saying, no, we showed up. We did not just start slaughtering people. He goes, it devolved into chaos. So there are two stories. Shots were fired only after we were attacked first, with rocks or whatever. The majority of the people now, even, I don't know. It's hard to sift through. Again, we don't know. This just happened a few hours ago. We don't know what is the settled story going to be. Is it going to be that the Israelis showed up and these people all panicked and all hell broke loose and that they trampled each other and all that? Is that going to be the story? Or is it going to be the Israelis showed up and just started gig everybody, as the Palestinians would have us believe? I don't know. Developing ... as they say, but a truly tragic incident occurred there. One of the ugliest of the this is not a good time for this to happen. This is not a good time for there to be global headlines that say hundreds of civilians killed in Gaza against the backdrop of them just trying to get rice, like a bag of rice. The wildfires here in Texas, they have not calmed down. In fact, the wildfires here in Texas have become the largest singular wildfire outbreak in Texas wildfire history. It says here, Texas wildfires, massive blaze covers over 1 million acres, becoming the largest in the state's history. This one kind of snuck up on us, huh? I mean, like I said yesterday, we're accustomed to having these wildfires occur. Certainly in the summertime, it's normal. Springtime occasionally, but man, this seems very, very early for this. The wildfires at Smokehouse Creek is only 3% contained and has covered an estimated 1,075,000 acres. Let's see here. What are they telling us? The wildfires at Smokehouse Creek is only 3% contained, has covered 1,075,000 acres. It's larger than Rhode Island. It's become the largest blaze in Texas history. This according to the Texas A&M Forest Service. The state's fire preparedness level was raised to a 3. That means outside help from other agencies, regions, or states is required to battle the blazes. Family members have identified an 83-year-old grandmother from the town of Stinnett as the only person confirmed killed from the fires to date. Joyce Blankenship, a former substitute teacher, was found dead in her home, according to family members. All right, so I guess she hasn't been. They don't know if that's. Family members identified 83-year-old grandmother, blah, blah, blah. Okay, that's Joyce Blankenship. Wildfires having moved east from the Texas Panhandle were spreading into Oklahoma. At least 12 fires were burning in the state, covering more than 115,000 acres. Conditions ripe for more fires are expected Saturday and Sunday. Okay, so conditions, right? So obviously earlier in the week, it was crazy. We hit 94 degrees in Dallas, but now it's 40-something. What is it exactly right now? I don't know. Maybe it's 60. Who knows? Let's see. Okay. The last time, it's 51 degrees. It was 94 degrees just like 48 hours ago. Our air conditioners were on, and now it's cold. It got freezing again last night. And we're going to have rains, right? Aren't we supposed to have rains this afternoon? So I'm looking at some clouds, some rain showers moving through. And then it's going to be like 85 again on Saturday. So when they say these wildfires, aren't these wildfires getting the cold weather too? I mean, how far away are we? We're not talking that far away. I mean, I know Texas is big, but, well, I guess it's at least the state of Rhode Island away, because that's how big the size of the burn is. All right, so we'll keep an eye on that. Also making news today, both President Trump and Joe Biden are making trips to the border. No, they're not going to bump into each other. Have you ever seen the border? It's freaking huge. Trump is going to some Eagle Pass, and Biden is going to Brownsville. I don't know how close these two places are to each other. Probably not very. Isn't one like up near El Paso and the other one is Brownsville? So that'll be a thing. And I don't know if they'll be there at the same time. I don't know if we'll have a split screen side by side on all of our news, watching these two old men walk precariously across like gravel. I don't know. All right, moving on. That's happening. Border trips. Trump. We don't talk a lot about this, but my home state's getting involved. And I'm telling you, I don't think it's anything big, but I do think it's funny, because I have long said that Trump's kryptonite are powerful, educated Black women who don't work for him. That's his kryptonite. I don't think he knows how to square up against, like this judge in Illinois. Now we got a Black woman judge, Trump's kryptonite, in Cook County, who has basically kicked Trump off the battle in Illinois. Now this is, she stayed her decision, which means that it's going to be dependent upon, the Supreme Court. Supreme Court is already hearing the case of Colorado and then Maine, or where is it? Maine, wherever, I don't know what it is. But they're going to issue a finding on that or whatever, a ruling. And then if it is applicable, then the Illinois judgment will go through. If not, I have no idea. Anyway, it's so stupid. And this woman is just doing it. She's doing it to make a name for something. Good for her. Whatever. You got to make a name for yourself. You see your avenue, you go, you take it. But when I just love the idea that it's another Black woman screwing with Trump, because I have to believe, and this is the truth, I do not believe Trump has ever had a Black female friend. I think that every Black female from the 1970s to the 1980s to the 1990s, every Black female that he has been around has been a servant. has been somebody who is a yes, Mr. Trump, or whatever it is, or a supplicant, somebody who works for the Trump administration. Omarosa, you're going to offer me Omarosa? I have no doubt that Donald Trump, that badass, he can walk into any boardroom anywhere and he can see a bunch of white dudes and he knows exactly how to fuck with them. He knows exactly how to get into their head and completely fuck them up. No doubt. Probably apex level predator at that kind of shit. The dude knows this. Come on. I don't know, a bunch of black women, getting mad and fighting in a different way, and he can't fire them? Like, they don't work for him? And they don't give a shit? I don't think he knows how to, I don't think he knows. I don't know. Like, I think he might panic. I think N-bombs might come out. I think he might go to that. I don't know, just because he's not used to having to deal. He knows how to dismantle a white man. He knows how to dismantle a man. I think he really does. I don't think color has anything to do with it. I don't think he's racist in that way. A lot of people, he's a racist. I'm like, nah, I think he's a classist. He's just, you're either like, in his class or you're not. Like, you ain't gonna have a problem with Michael Jordan. You don't have a problem with Kanye West, right? Anyway, I think he's afraid of black women. And I think this is funny that it's another black female judge who's just like, going after him. All right. Throw down, sister. The war is in full swing. Mitch McConnell is stepping down. This gutless, feckless piece of human garbage. Mitch McConnell, for years, I was like, my clone theory. There's also a Washington clone factory, and all you need to do is look at a side-by-side of Harry Reid and Mitch McConnell, two dudes who are on the direct opposite side of the aisle. They were opposite on everything. They were identical. Harry Reid and Mitch McConnell, they look like the exact same guy. Anyway, we got rid of Harry Reid. The only thing good about Harry Reid was that he was a UFO dude. And he's like, let's talk UFOs. I'm like, okay, Harry Reid. Keep pushing the UFO thing. He's dead. Mitch McConnell's not. Mitch McConnell's been, been having some things, we're all very hypersensitive to old people and their, missteps verbally or whatever these days. Mitch McConnell had a couple. Remember, he had a couple brain locks over the summer where he was standing in front of that. I mean, there's something wrong with him. He's old. There's something going on. Very important job. Leader of the Senate. He's stepping down. He's done. Now he's like, I can't do it anymore. And we're like, yeah, we know. We saw the videos from July. Oh, you just catching up to you now? Anyway, get out of here. Get out. Now they're all Cornyn. I think Cornyn's like my guy, right? Doesn't he live in this area? I think Cornyn like lives in this Highland Park area. Cornyn wants to be the dude now. Jeez. All right, we'll see how that all shakes out. But Mitch McConnell, he's out of here. All right, so I don't even want to do this story, but he's 18, and I don't know, she's just so trashy, and this is just kind of like what a trashy mom would have. So Boebert's kid's a little pissant delinquent. He's a little troublemaker. Lauren Boebert, look, what's his kid? His kid's doing some credit card fraud. His kid, Lauren Boebert's son has been arrested and charged with a gang of little teenage thugs for breaking into cars, stealing credit cards, and then using those credit cards at gas stations. Very dumb. And by the way, man, what is this kid thinking? This kid knows when you are the child of a congressperson, let alone an extraordinarily polarizing and high-profile congressperson, if you are raised properly, you don't do these kinds of things. You know what kind of things you do? You kill a girl in a DUI accident, and then, the scandal of the cover-up is what gets you caught. But you don't do stupid, petty shit like this. You don't break into cars and steal, come on, and then walk into a convenience store with a stolen credit card knowing that you're being filmed. He hates his mommy. This is like a mommy. This is like, I'm going to humiliate you, mommy. U.S. Rep. Lauren Boebert's son is facing felony charges in a string of vehicle break-ins. Let's see here. The oldest son of U.S. Rep. Lauren Boebert is suspected of being part of a group of friends who used credit cards stolen from cars to make purchases at gas stations and McDonald's. Dumbass teenage shit. This is white trash teenage shit. By the way, I learned something. You can't say that word. White trash. Like, now that nobody's going to see this show now on YouTube, like, it's going to be banned because I said that word? Huh. All right. Tyler Bobert, 18, was identified as a suspect after being spotted in surveillance video at the gas station where he was using stolen credit cards. Oh, my God. No, we don't need to go into any more of that, but holy crap. I do not get it twisted. I am not saying that children of Congress people are angels. No, they're quite the opposite. They're awful. They're just not so sloppy. They just don't do this kind of petty plebeian crime. It's like always something different. They get caught with cocaine. That's what the children, they don't get caught breaking into cars and then using credit cards. That's like I said, that's not they kill their girlfriends on prom night, and then the cover up is what causes the scandal. They don't break into cars and steal credit cards. It's just not a thing. Unless you just don't give an F about your mom because of whatever reason. I don't know. I don't know what's going on there. All right, moving on. What do we got here? This is kind of scary. So this is a story that I saw come out yesterday. Putin's doing a lot of saber rattling. Putin's, in a bad position. This should be very frightening. Should be very concerning. If everything implodes on Putin, if if they start marching at the gates or whatever, or if it seems like it's going that way, we very seriously have to consider what kind of a person Vladimir Putin is. If Vladimir Putin is going to go out, is he going to go out like Hitler in the bunker and, kill himself before they can get there and string his body up? I don't think so. And what kind of access does he have to like real mayhem? Like, is there a button? We all like to think there's a button in his desk and he punches it and then all of a sudden Los Angeles explodes. I don't think that's true, but you got to be worried about it. And he's openly now speaking about his nuclear arsenal and about how, and apparently something has been leaked to the press that details the Kremlin's policies towards nuclear aggression, like what it would take to ramp up. And I guess it's a lot less than most people in the world suspected. But again, leaked. Stolen. I don't know. How did this information come out? This information, is this compromise? Is this the famous Russian misinformation where they're just leaking stories to the world about how crazy Russia is right now? Maybe what? To get people to be afraid and back down? Is that who we are? We just let the crazy guy stay because we're afraid of what he might do? Bunch of fucking cowards. I don't know. Anyway, in these documents, this treasure trove of documents that were how were they acquired? Let's see that. Vladimir Putin's nuclear targets have been mapped. 14 U.S. locations that are in Russia's crosshairs. So these are apparently from a Kremlin document that show the targets that they would go after in the United States. Russian President Vladimir Putin has warned that the West threatens nuclear war if the alliance sends troops to the Ukraine. During his State of the Union address on Thursday, Putin claimed NATO and the U.S. are preparing to strike Russian territory. I don't think that's true, but that's what he's telling his people, and that's what he thinks. He added, this is us he's talking about. They must realize that we also have weapons that can hit targets on their territory. All this really threatens a conflict with the use of nuclear weapons and the destruction of civilization. Don't they get that? Putin said. No, we get that we're dealing with a crazy person who uses nuclear weapons as a tool on a chessboard. Instead of, in the past where it's all just been like, don't even fucking mention them. We got them. He added, they must realize, this isn't the first time Putin has threatened nuclear war with the West in recent years as Moscow and Washington continues to clash over the war in Ukraine. Putin also claimed that his new RS-28 Samrat intercontinental ballistic missile is ready for the Russian military to use. Also known as the Satan II rocket. They called their rocket the Satan II. Yeah, these are the good guys. With Putin's saber rattling reaching new levels, the map below shows the 14 locations in the U.S. that Russia would likely target. The other maps, Putin preparing a large-scale conflict with NATO. Okay, anyway, let's run through these. Let's see what these are. Are we on here? Are we on these targets? All right. First target, the Pentagon. All right. That's not us. We're good. And by us, I mean, my family in Chicago and Dallas. Number 2, Naval Station Norfolk. Naval Station Norfolk. The U.S. and the world's largest naval base located in Norfolk, Virginia. It has the highest concentration of U.S. Navy forces. I've been there. I've been to Norfolk, the Naval Air Base. It's pretty cool. Comfort Suites Kings Bay Naval Base area. Doesn't that sound like a hotel? Doesn't that sound like a bad resort? Comfort Suites. Comfort Suites Kings Bay Naval Base area. This is another clear target as it's the base of the United States Navy. It's located in Camden County, Georgia. What? The base of the United States Navy is located in Georgia? Is Georgia on the water? Oh, God. No, I got to think. Georgia. Is Georgia known for it? Well, I guess Savannah. Okay. All right. I guess that area. Okay. Never mind. We'll move on. Also a target, Barksdale Air Force Base. Barksdale is a United States Air Force Base in Bossier Parish, Louisiana. That's close to us. That's the closest one. So if they nuke Barksdale. Whiteman Air Force Base, located in Missouri, Knob Noster, Missouri. It's the home to the U.S.'s B-2 Spirit Bomber Force. U.S. Strategic Command. This is another target of the Russians. It's responsible for the U.S. nuclear deterrence and cyber. VLF Array Luai. That's someplace in Hawaii. Some radar tracking place in Hawaii. They're going to bomb with nukes. Kirtland Air Force Base, home to the Air Force Material Command's Nuclear Weapons Center. That's in Albuquerque, New Mexico. The 21st Force Support Squadron. That's in Colorado. Warren Air Force Base. That's in Wyoming. Minot Air Force Base. That's in North Dakota. Hill Air Force Base. That's in Davis County, Utah. Maelstrom Air Force Base. That's in Montana. Naval Radio Station Jim Creek. And that's in Osso, Washington. All right, looks like we made it. Looks like we're good. They ain't taking out cities. These aren't civilian targets. These are all, we ain't near any of that stuff. Bossier, look, the one over in Louisiana, that could be a problem. But there you have it. All right, no reason to be fearful of Putin's saber rattling because his attacks will come at places where you've never been. I've never been. I don't know. The Pentagon. The Pentagon is the big one, right? That's the one that's Washington, D.C. That's okay. So that's a civilian population. That ain't fun. We don't like that. Here's some other news, some news that broke yesterday. A lot of people were shocked by this. And I wasn't really. I mean, when I saw it trending, I went, oh, like my first thought was, oh, they're dead. And then my thought was, nah, because this is probably just something else, some trending for some stupid reason. But Richard Lewis is, in fact, dead. I came to realize after I saw it trending and I did a quick Google search and I found a couple of corroborating sources. It was very early in the process. Everybody wasn't reporting it yet, but Richard Lewis, the comedian, is dead. I'll say I really liked Richard Lewis, like in the 80s, right? Late 80s when he was doing all those HBO comedy specials. He was a really different kind of comedian. He was not a typical comedian. First of all, the way that he, throughout the course of his career, has normalized the conversation on mental health has been incredible. That's great. Okay, so let's give him credit for that. But above and beyond that, he was doing pretty good comedy about his neuroses, about therapy, about working things out and figuring out who he is and, ego and all that kind of stuff. He's a very interesting guy. His comedy was not traditional and he was big. Richard Lewis was a very big comedian. And again, totally not traditional. Richard Lewis was not doing what George Carlin was doing. Richard Lewis was not doing what Jerry Seinfeld was doing. He was doing a completely different kind of thing. a trailblazing thing, a thing that had never been done before. Nobody had just simply got, I mean, Woody Allen to some degree, who is a huge influence on Richard Lewis, his performing style and everything. But Woody Allen never made his neurosis, made his personal therapy work the whole cornerstone of his act, the way Richard Lewis did. He was an actor. He screwed up a lot of his chances at the time in his career when he was as big as they could get. He was, first of all, he was cool. Like, there were comedians who are like, oh, that guy's hysterical, but they're not cool. Like, Richard Lewis was considered cool. He was hip. He was, in parlance of the day, he was somebody who was in tune with what was going on. And if you wanted a really young, involved, connected, sort of engaged audience, that was his audience. He was very powerful. But the problem was, at the time when he was at his most powerful, he was a big cokehead and alcoholic. He didn't strike. He lamented this his entire career, that, you know, he was enjoying being a celebrity. He was enjoying, you know, the women and the parties and being respected. He blew it. Did a couple of movies. 1979 was the first time he acted. And this is when he was an unknown. He made a movie called Diary of a Stand-Up Comedian that is really considered groundbreaking. It was a mockumentary that they didn't know what a mockumentary was at the time that they were doing it, but it was very similar to what we would see from Christopher Guest and Spinal Tap and all that stuff. And it was about stand-up comedy. And he played the lead role. What else did he do? Hugo Pool. What other movies? I'm trying to think of other movies he did. Anything But Love. He had a hit sitcom. He had a sitcom that was on for 4 years, never did well in the ratings, was always highly critically acclaimed. And then finally, ABC pulled the plug on it. Anything But Love. It was Richard Lewis and Jamie Lee Curtis. Again, this was kind of at the time, though, when he was just coming out of his alcoholic haze. Jamie Lee Curtis, by the way, says that the reason that she is a recovering alcoholic is because of her time on this show with Richard Lewis. Richard Lewis got Jamie Lee Curtis sober because he had just come out of it himself. And of course, in recent years, he's most famous for playing Richard Lewis on Curb Your Enthusiasm. He and Larry David, boy, what a crazy team up Larry David and Richard Lewis are. Completely independent of one another. They both just went out in comedy and created their own little thing. They are independent of one another. Aside from all the work they've done together on Curb Your Enthusiasm, before that, nobody would go, oh yeah, you know, he's from the Larry David tree, him and Richard, you know, nothing like that. They were just completely different. These two dudes went to summer camp together when they were 10. How weird is that? Again, I'm always blown away by that. Richard Lewis and Larry David went to summer camp together when they were 10 years old. They hated each other. And then 10 years later, when they were both 20, they ran into one another again in the New York comedy scene as two young comics trying to get stage time. And this time they became best friends. And they've been best friends. Everybody says, you know, Jerry Seinfeld is Larry David's best friend. Well, he's one of his best friends, but Richard Lewis was really Larry David's best friend. And we saw that in Curb Your Enthusiasm, where Richard Lewis played Richard Lewis, Larry David's best friend. And I have to say, I wasn't surprised when I heard that he was dead, because he hasn't looked good. He hasn't looked good at all. He's spending a lot of time in a golf cart. Like, they're shooting a lot of the Richard Lewis scenes from this season. The new season of Curb is out. They're shooting all the Richard Lewis scenes. He's seated in a golf cart and he looks very frail. And even the way he's speaking is a bit labored. Now, Richard Lewis didn't die of a disease. He died of a heart attack. He just had a heart attack. He was probably walking across the kitchen to let the dog out, and he had a heart attack. So it's not like he was dying and on death's door, but he didn't look healthy. And I guess he'd had some things over the years. Larry David, Jamie Lee Curtis, and Ben Stiller paid tribute to comedian Richard Lewis, who died at 76 years old yesterday. Fellow comedians, famous fans, co-stars, and friends react to the death of Richard Lewis. It says here, this is from Larry David. Richard and I were born 3 days apart in the same hospital, and for most of my life, he's been like a brother to me. He had that rare combination of being the funniest person and also the sweetest. But today he made me sob, and for that, I'll never forgive him. That's their relationship. Let's see here. Jamie Lee Curtis says, he made me laugh, which is the one thing that a strong, capable woman can't really do for herself. He's also the reason I'm sober. There you go. Yeah, I mentioned it. He's also the reason I'm sober. She tells that story all the time. He's also the reason I'm sober. He helped me. I'm forever grateful for him for that act of grace alone. Jamie Lee Curtis, co-star on the Anything But Love sitcom. Ben Stiller says, I never met a kinder, more empathetic comedy genius. He was so funny and deep. As a stand-up, he was really iconic in the 70s. Cool, funny, self-deprecating, and hip. He was a friend to my parents, and the entire Stiller family mourns his passing. Ben Stiller. Okay. Albert Brooks says, a brilliantly funny man who will be missed by all. The world needs him now more than ever. Paul Feig, director. Well, Paul Feig do Bridesmaids, whole bunch of stuff. Paul Feig says, or Feig maybe. I don't know how to pronounce it. Absolutely devastated by this news. Richard was my hero when I was a stand-up. I was lucky enough to get to know him, and he was the most wonderful man, so supportive and kind, and truly one of the funniest people on the planet. That's Paul Feig, whatever. Michael McKean, Michael McKean says, farewell, Richard Lewis. Procol Harum has lost another fan, and the rest of us have lost a very good man. Actor and comedian Michael McKean. All right. There you go. Very sad, but everybody dies, and I don't know if it's from he. So here's an interesting thing about Curb Your Enthusiasm. In Curb Your Enthusiasm, Richard Lewis is portrayed. It isn't exactly Richard Lewis. It's Richard Lewis, the comedian, and all that. But it's not like his true life. Like, for instance, on Curb Your Enthusiasm, Richard Lewis was always portrayed as a single man with no wife, and he had a different hot girlfriend. And, he was always, this is the one, Larry. He was always falling in love with a different really hot girl. Like, Richard Lewis always had super hot girlfriends on Curb Your Enthusiasm. That was Curb Your Enthusiasm. In real life, he was married to the same woman for like 20-something years. He's married. He's in a committed relationship. I don't know if he's got kids or anything. I didn't see that. But there you have it. Richard Lewis. Okay. What else do we have to do here? We're running out of stories. You guys. Are we as desperate for stories as I thought? Yeah, we are kind of. All right. Let's see here. What do we got? Taylor and Travis. Let's check in with Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce. I almost forgot his name. Oh boy, they've been out of the front pages for a couple of weeks now, and I forgot their name. Here's what they're in trouble for. Apparently, they're down there in Australia, and they need to be canceled now. Everybody's mad at them. Oh my God, are they taking crap? These people take crap from everything, from everybody. You know why? Because we love to be upset, and we love to be the first person to be upset. We love to be upset about. They take it from all directions, man. Like PETA is like wanting them canceled or whatever. I don't even know what PETA does. PETA wants them canceled because they went on a date to a zoo in Australia. That's right. Did you guys know that? Did you guys know we can't go to zoos anymore? Well, they can't go to zoos anymore. I'm pretty sure that I can go to a zoo. I'm pretty sure you can go to a zoo. I'm pretty sure we can all go to a zoo. And then after the zoo, if we're out with people and we say that we went to the zoo and somebody at that table has the balls to go, you went to the zoo? That's so cruel. You can kick the fuck out of them in the parking lot. Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce can't do that. Did they have to just take it from these anonymous cowards who are just going to be like, they're going to zoos? Yo, shut up. We all go to zoos. Are zoos okay? You're going to make me think about zoos? God, man. Don't make me think about zoos. I love animals and I love looking at animals. It's a me thing. The way that they're cared for, pretty good. I mean, honestly, I knew two people. They were family, but they were both like zoologist people. They worked at the Brookfield Zoo. They used to come on our radio show all the time. These people they've dedicated their entire lives to loving these animals. These zoo workers we're not talking about the circus in 1890. People who work with zoo animals now, they love these animals. These are exactly the people you want around these animals every day. I don't know. Circuses are a little different. I had trouble with circuses because I love circuses. I love every year. Me and my kid would go to the circus. Second year of life, third year of life, fourth year of life, 50. We went every year. It was our thing going to the circus. And then the last time we went, and this has no bearing on it being the last time we went to the circus, but the last time we went, we were accosted. I'm like walking into the circus with my 5-year-old kid. He's holding my hand. He's excited. And like some idiots come up to, you're participating in the systematic cruelty of animals. And I'm like, dude, my kid, man. Well, maybe that's what he needs to, here. And we got into a thing, and then we went inside, and my kid was like, Daddy, what was that about? I go, somebody incredibly inappropriate. I couldn't, we enjoyed the circus. It was Ringling Brothers, Barnum and Bailey High Voltage edition, not to be confused with the Dragons edition. This was High Voltage. It's a different touring show. It was awesome. Can't go to the circus anymore. Apparently, are there even circuses anymore? Here we are like 10 years later. Is that a thing? And maybe circuses have a point, but don't take our zoos away from us. Anyway, there you have it. Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift. Pete is all angry at him. And they're actually talking to people. They're like asking people, what do you think of Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift going to a zoo? And people are like, oh, like they got Jennifer. What's her name? Who's that lady that we all love from Legally Blonde? Jennifer something. She's really funny. Stifler's mom. Can't remember her name. She's a treasure. I should remember her name. They accosted her at an airport, and she's like a big PETA. She's like a PETA board member and all this kind of stuff. And they said to her, they said, what do you think of Travis and Taylor going to a zoo in Sydney and PETA calling for a boy or whatever PETA's calling for? I don't even know. Who cares? It's PETA. And even her, Jennifer, she was like, oh, I don't know. She's like, aren't they the cutest couple? She didn't really even care. Oh, no, she did. She gave him a pass. That's what it was. She said, I give them a pass for being so damn cute. That was it. And then she moved on. And good for her. That's why we love her. Because she didn't give a shit about you stupid paparazzi shoving your camera in her face as she's getting off a plane. PETA takes jab at Taylor Swift. Travis Kelce for visiting Australian zoo. Can't think of her name. Hold on, now they're showing pictures. You know what? Never mind. We don't need to spend this. We honestly don't need to spend this much time on it. It's a stupid thing. But not nearly as stupid as this. You want to hear about a couple more celebrities who are in trouble? Oh, boy. Kim Kardashian and Anna Taylor-Joy. Now, they didn't do anything together. These are totally independent. They did these two things completely on their own, and they got hammered yesterday on the socials. Anna Taylor-Joy and Kim Kardashian. You know why? Because both of them within like the last week have posed for Instagram pictures where they're wearing corsets. Yeah, apparently wearing a corset means you hate women and want the world to go and turn into some kind of Stepford Wives meets Handmaid's Tale thing. If you're a hot chick posing for hot chick pictures, boudoir photos or whatever, if you're a hot chick posing for pictures on Instagram, if you wear a corset, remember the corset, just putting that on makes you anti-woman. And again, you want women to be subjugated. How absurd is that? By the way, I saw both the pictures because they were both in the article. Beautiful, just two beautiful women in boudoir shots, actually kind of classy. Like Kim Kardashian's wasn't sexy as much as it was just like really kind of fashionable. Anna Taylor-Joy was kind of doing like a sexy boudoir thing. But so what's the problem? The problem is that you're perpetrating the myth of the female body image. Shut up. Stop it. It's fashion. Everybody just wants to complain about something. Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift can't go to a zoo in Sydney, Australia because zoos are bad. Kim Kardashian and Anna Taylor-Joy can't take Instagram pictures where they're modeling corsets because you hate women if you wear a corset. Stop it. Shut up. You're not interesting. Nobody wants to hear from you anymore. Stop it. Everybody complains about everything all the time. Why? Because we're all just anonymous little grains of sand on the beaches of humanity. We don't matter. We're insignificant. So how do we make ourselves matter, even if just for the flutter of a moment? Wah! Wah! Complain. And then someone will go, oh, look at that person complaining. Because in the moment you're complaining, you're telling the world that you've had enough and pay attention to me. Oh my God. It's all happening in the blink of an instant. It all happens in our mind, in our brain, doot, 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 why we do the things we do. It's programming. We don't think it through. Just fucking complain. The next time you want to get on Twitter and complain about something, I'm going to try this too. Here we go. All of us. Okay. No complaints on Twitter or Facebook. No complaints. Try it. Let's just see. Just tweet about other stuff. Although I am kind of cynical, so people will be like, that's a complaint. And I'll be like, no, it's not. It's humor. All right. So remember, we can't go to zoos. We can't go to circuses. We can't go to zoos. We can't go to circuses. And ladies, you can't take sexy pictures wearing corsets because that means that you hate women. That's what it means. It's a direct right there. Oh, sure, there's a whole lot that would need to happen in the middle there. But we're going to skip over that. And we're just going to say that if you're wearing a corset, you hate women. They were hot. Both pictures were very hot. Sorry. Let's see. What else do we have here? Oprah is making some moves. Do you know that Oprah owns 43% of Weight Watchers? Did you guys know that? I didn't know that. Oprah owns 43% of Weight Watchers. It's on the board of directors. Apparently, she bought into Weight Watchers like, I don't know, 15 years ago or something. So she owns like a whole big chunk of Weight Watchers. She's on the board of directors, and she has informed the board of directors of Weight Watchers, a company that she owns 43% of, that she will not be submitting her name for re-election to the board of directors. Oprah is out. She's done. She still owns 43% of the company, but she is not going to be on the board of directors anymore. You know why? You know why she's not? Because she's taking Ozempic. she's admitting. She's like, look, I don't think I can be on the board of Weight Watchers anymore because I've been using these pills to lose weight. And let me tell you, I think this is the way to go. It says here, Oprah Winfrey leaves Weight Watchers board after admitting to using weight loss drugs. Okay, let's see here. But that makes it sound like she was that. They don't want her to leave. They don't want Oprah gone from the board. This is being worded in a way that isn't necessarily true. It wasn't found out that she used weight loss drugs. She just started talking about how effective they are because you know what? Oprah's kind of just honest. Oprah kind of just, hey, yeah, I was taking these weight loss drugs and they really kind of worked for me. She's been saying that in podcasts. And then people are like, well, aren't you Weight Watchers? And she's like, yeah, I own a whole bunch of Weight Watchers and that really worked well for me too. But I'm telling you, this seems to progress. This seems to be better. That's what happened here. And because of that, because she's an honorable woman, she is not going to be sitting for re-election on the board because she's like, I like the pills better. I mean, I still got my 43%. You can milk this dying venture for the next 10 years if you want. But I'm taking Ozempic. Oprah Winfrey is standing down from Weight Watchers after admitting she's been using weight loss drugs. Winfrey, who's been on the board since 2015, after buying a 43 million stake. I thought it was 43% of the company. Well, how much is that? That might be more. What is Weight Watchers worth? Let's see here. Her decision to step down is in part to eliminate any perceived conflict of interest around her taking weight loss medications that she's been openly discussing in the press for the better part of the past year. The U.S. celebrity 70 has been coming under fire after revealing that she used the weight loss drugs as a, quote, maintenance tool. She didn't mention what drugs she was taking, but her admission came as medications such as Ozempic have become hugely popular. I don't know anything about this Ozempic thing. I have a friend who lost like a crap ton of weight on Ozempic. Ozempic and pickleball. That's what he's been doing. I play pickleball and I take Ozempic. I feel weird because I feel like we're in like the vax thing again, right? Like when this disease was sweeping the nation and people were getting sick and they were dying, and science got together and they said, let's create this vax. I was like, okay, all right, let's do it. Let's take it. This seems they've done it before with polio. This is how the world pulls together. We can beat these things. Rah, rah, humanity, right? Okay, so a lot of you didn't feel that way. A lot of you were like, fucking lizard people and, all that shit. So whatever. Doesn't seem to be a problem with Ozempic. They rush these weight loss pills to market. Why? Because they know nothing sells more than the promise of instant weight loss. So they rush these things through for, money. That's why. Boner pills, hair loss, anything that egocentric men will be willing to take, those things get rushed through. Weight loss gets rushed through. Everybody's been taking Ozempic and they're all like, look at me losing weight. I'm like, I don't want to take no weight loss pill. I'm going to wait. You know that the original weight loss pills were just methamphetamines? They were just meth. That's all they were. That's where meth came from. Original 1950s mother's little helper pills. Weight loss pills. They've always been just putting crap in these things, and then they realize, oh, that's probably not good. We should come up with something better. And then they come up with something better. They rush it to the market, and then 10 years later, everybody's born with a tail. I don't know. Adam Reyna says, I take Monjaro for my diabetes. Monjaro, that's like the Pepsi, right? Coke and Pepsi. Ozempic's like the same kind of thing. I don't know. He goes on to say, I am no longer technically diabetic. Hey, there's a win. However, because my A1C has fallen, but I don't want to go over your medicals. I don't know what any of that means. He also says, but you still have to put in the damn work on that stuff. I say that as I'm out on an incline. Yeah, he's a workout dude. Adam's lost a lot of weight. Probably used some pills. I think that's what he's admitting, but he's also seems to be working out all the time. Mike says, not pills yet. Weekly eye sections. I don't know what any of this means. I'm a fat guy. I've always been a fat guy. I'm always going to be a fat guy. I mean, as long as I can stay, every couple of years I get a physical. In the last couple of years, I remember they've said, last time I asked, but the time before they were like, you are just a few pounds away from being considered technically obese. And that freaked me out because I've always been a fat guy, but I never thought I was like, need mobilized assistance at Walmart fat guy. And that's what I think of that. So that scared me. And then I went back. And so now I know like obese for me and my size, I think is like 240 something. I don't know, something like that. So as long as I could stay within 10 pounds of that, which is where I've been, I'm a fat guy. I'm a fat 228 pound guy. And I know that because I just weighed myself last week. But I'm supposed to be, here's how you know I'm a fat guy, because I'm supposed to be like 180 pounds. I'm like 40 pounds overweight. That's crazy. And yet still, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I know I'm a fat guy, but I'm not motorized assistance at Walmart fat guy, but I could be. I really worry that I could be. Man, I'm telling you, I blow out a knee or something and I lose all my mobility and I can't work out. Oh my God. Oh, no way. I couldn't be that guy. I could probably very easily be that guy if we're being honest. It's all right. It's a fight. I'm trying to do things. I'm trying to eat better. Got a head of lettuce rotting in my refrigerator right now. That's a good sign. Should probably eat it before it rots, but I bought it and I have it. So if a salad is something I want, I can make it. Cut out caffeine. Increased our dog walks these last couple of days. The weather, last couple of weeks, actually. The weather's been a little bit nicer. We've been staying out a little bit longer. I've been getting about 3 miles a day in. That's not anywhere near the 10,000 steps. The 10,000 steps thing is such bullshit, people. Do you know how hard it is to do 10,000 steps? It's 5 miles. 5 miles. So yeah, if you did 5 miles a day of cardio, yeah, you'll probably lose weight. Like everybody should do 10,000. Okay, not everybody's going to do 5 miles of road work every day trying to get 10,000 steps in. Jeez. Peter says, how tall are you? I'm 6 foot exactly. So I don't know what you can double check my numbers to see how what the obese numbers are, but yeah, it's something like that. Double check. That's fine. I don't care. Ugh. Adam says he's got muscles for the first time. He's down to 270. Yay. That's hard work, man. Losing weight is hard work. I have periods in my life that are only like, and I keep the clothes like where I get down to like a really good weight. Like a couple of years ago, I got below 200 pounds, which has been my goal forever, but I'm never going to get there. So, I figure my goal weight now should be 215. But I got below 200 pounds. I got clothes. I got clothes that I could wear then. Oh my God. It's still in my refrigerator. I'm still in my refrigerator, still in my closet. Someday. No, never. Never. A large. I have shirts in my that are large. I've been extra large since I'm 14. Guys, if you haven't noticed, we're out of show. I'm done with shit. Oprah was the last story that I had. All right, let's jump around. Let's just see what's happening. We'll go to let's see. Should we look at Google Trends? We'll look at Google Trends. All right. We'll see. And in the meantime, we can once again say happy birthday to Nathan. It's Nathan's leap year birthday. Leap years are very rare. Nathan's 5 years old today, built like a 20-year-old. Pretty cool. Let's see. All right, let's go. Let's see what these are the real-time searches in the world. This is what people are talking about. These are the trending topics. Saudi Arabia is trending. Inside Saudi Arabia's wild football experiment. Apparently Saudi Arabia, that Saudi Arabian soccer league, apparently it's not going well, or it depends. It is going well. Again, whoever they're paying to write the stories will tell you whatever you want to hear. What else? Oh, you know what? Before we signed on, I saw this before we signed on. Let me go all the way back, up to the beginning. The goat was in here. He says, Pugs, did you hear the F1 news? Goes on to say, everything has been leaked to the media 55 minutes ago. And then he explains it's the Horner issue. Now, what this is about, this is, hold on, because this could be a big story. So I've been telling you about Christian Horner. Christian Horner is, one of the most powerful and important and high-profile, charismatic, handsome, young, dashing faces of F1. He is the team principal of Red Bull, Red Bull is essentially the Kansas City Chiefs of F1. He is, as team principal, you could think of that person as the head coach / general manager. Right? The person that's totally in charge of the team on every level. And they are the dominant team. He had been accused during the off season of some sexual harassment, some things. He did some things, played a little grab ass. I have no details. Now, this is a huge accusation against somebody who is very well thought of, highly regarded, considered to be, like I said, man, in a couple of years, he's going to be Sir Christian Horner, right? He's on that path. He's the one that's married to the Spice Girl. He's married to Jerry Halliwell. He's a former race driver himself who has turned into this, he's the new Ferrari. I mean, he's going to be one of the main guys, and he is the main guy in F1 in this era. Well, I mean, I guess Toto Wolff is big too, but point is this. By the way, how about them Mercedes? Don't want to get off into some kind of weeds here with F1, but F1 is back and the new Mercedes is out on the track, and holy shit, Mercedes may have fixed their speed problem. Anyway, moving on. So Christian Horner was accused of all of this stuff. We don't know any of the details. He was accused of this stuff during the offseason, and there was no movement in it whatsoever. So a bunch of these high dollar billionaire products that are associated with F1, they were waiting to hear if the guy that they invest all this money in is a sex predator or whatever. Ford was the one who finally spoke up. Ford, who provides the engines for the team Red Bull. Ford stepped up. President of Ford said, hey, we need a resolution. The F1 season's starting now. We need a resolution on Christian Horner. I need to know who I'm in business with. So he sort of forced their hands. Yesterday, it was revealed that there would be no consequences for Christian Horner, that basically the charges had no merit and blah, 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 blah. We moved on. New season. Let's go. Mercedes looks fast. Maybe they can challenge Red Bull this season. Woo! No. Today, apparently, somebody got a hold of the investigation and has leaked it to the F1 media. Now, in the investigation, it has all of the charges. For the first time ever, we theoretically are going to see exactly what these charges against Christian Horner were. We hadn't heard these. Promises to be very salacious, or possibly absolutely a nothing burger, but we'll see. I've been looking for any information on that. There's not a lot. Let me actually see what the latest. What do you think would be a good Google for that? F1 Christian Horner. F1 Christian Horner. Here, let's see. All right, news. Let's see what the latest news is. Give me something 1 hour ago. Okay. All right, here we go. All right, we're starting to get these. Alleged Horner. Okay, very good. There we go. This comes from motorsport.com. Alleged Horner messages leaked after Red Bull F1 investigation clears him of wrongdoing. The controversy surrounding the investigation into Red Bull boss Christian Horner took a twist on Thursday when what was claimed to be a key piece of evidence was leaked to Formula One personnel. Okay. Almost exactly 24 hours on from Horner being cleared of wrongdoing following allegations made by a female employee, a pair of anonymous email addresses distributed a dossier of documents that they alleged were related to the case. The emails, which contained a link to a Google Drive file containing the documents, stated, "Following Red Bull's recent investigation and statements, you will be interested to see the materials attached." The email was sent to more than 100 people, including senior figures within the Formula One organization and the FIA, as well as the current team principals and permanently accredited media. Ooh, that means all of his other team principals. That means Toto got it. That means Zach got it. That means Gunther's not there anymore. Gunther's gone. They fired him from Team Haas. Anyway, moving on. Seriously, if you guys aren't watching Drive to Survive, you're missing out. You're missing out on the male version of what women get from Real Housewives. It's the male version of that. Motorola. It's not a bunch of like, ew, he's a catty little bitch. No, it's just a bunch of dudes being cool, hanging out with their supermodel girlfriends, drinking. That's a lot. They drink a lot. They go out and they drink. They go, Red Bull has not confirmed whether the documents are real or have been falsified, but the team read a statement from Horner in the Bahrain, that's where race one is, the Bahrain paddock. Here is Horner's quote from today. "I won't comment on anonymous speculation, but to reiterate, I have always denied the allegations." That's all he had to say. Apparently he's got more to say. "I respected the integrity of the independent investigation and fully cooperated with it at every step of the way. It was as thorough and fair an investigation conducted by an independent specialist barrister, and it has concluded. Dismissing the complaint made, I remain fully focused on the start of the season." Ooh. All right, well, we'll see. I don't know. I'm looking for reports. What does it say in it? Has anybody looked through it? Have any of these people made any of this stuff public? Is there anything to be made public? Is there a smoking gun? I don't know. Okay, let's see what else. I realize I've been following the Christian Horner story, and most people don't even know who he is. That's all right. That's a little something for me because we're out of show. We're out of show, and but hey, F1 dorks, huh? How exciting is the new Mercedes car? Huh? Are you? We don't know. It's first week of testing, first qualifying, not a big thing. Actually, what is the latest? I'll tell you the latest. And I'll tell you why this is a big deal. Here's why. Because Mercedes has dominated F1 for years and years. I believe they rattled off 7 manufacturers championships in a row, 7 drivers championships in a row. They were only recently in the last 2 years surpassed by Red Bull. Red Bull now seems to be as dominant as Mercedes was back 10 years ago. Mercedes, for some reason, they had lost speed in their car. They still got the GOAT. They got Lewis Hamilton. They got George Russell. They got a good team of drivers. But for some reason, their car wasn't producing. And Lewis Hamilton almost went to Ferrari last offseason. There was a huge free agent. They had to beg him. They had to beg Lewis to stay with Mercedes. He did. He stayed with Mercedes, and they promised him a better car. And holy shit. They apparently have given him a very fast car. Bahrain. There you go. All right, let's see. Yeah, everything here is a bummer. I'm just doing what I would do. The show is ended. This is just what I would be doing. By the way, 3:30 this afternoon, I'll be on with James Parker, WBAP 93.3. I'll be doing a entertainment report. Trying to see anything about Mercedes. Yeah, Mercedes fastest lap on the track. Lewis Hamilton and Mercedes surprise fastest on first day of F1 2024. Lewis Hamilton set a surprise pace as Mercedes finished first and second on an unexpected opening day of track action in Formula One. I like Mercedes. I like Lewis Hamilton. I like George Russell. I root for them. I don't know why I root for them. I typically don't root for front runners. And for the past 10 years, they have been the quintessential front runners. It would be like rooting for the New England Patriots now because you're tired of the Kansas City Chiefs to win, right? That's basically what I'm saying. I'm saying I'm kind of rooting for Mercedes now because I'm tired of Red Bull. Well, it's like saying I'm rooting for the Patriots because they haven't won in 5 years. All right, I got nothing else. You know what? Here's what we do. Have one last time. How about a big, healthy, happy, hearty birthday wish to old, look at him. Look at Nathan. That's April's kid. April was today's executive producer. Thank you so much, April. We appreciate you dropping a little something there. We'd have done the big show in love for Nathan without you tipping, but man, thank you so much for tipping. This show does run on your gratuities. If you want to drop a little something in there, we sure would appreciate it, and that's going to do it. Was debating whether or not I should leave Nathan up there. Now, at some point, it just becomes exploitation. All right, guys, we'll be back tomorrow. Check me out with James in about 2 hours. 2 hours from now, I'll be on with James on 93.3 doing an entertainment report. Other than that, we'll see you back here tomorrow at noon. Love you guys. Bye, everybody.